Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Baker. Miss Heckler, Miss Lackamew, Miss Sasu, Miss Faison, we all miss you terribly. Hopefully we'll get to see each other again pretty soon. So what we're doing this week is we're factoring polynomials when our a value is greater than 1. So what do we mean by the a value? Well, the standard form of a quadratic trinomial is ax squared plus bx plus c. So I'm really talking about this variable right here as our leading coefficient. I'm talking about the number that is in front of the x squared. So in number 1, that's a 3. The ones that we did last week just said x squared. They technically had a 1 as the coefficient. But today, or this week, the ones that we're working on have a coefficient other than 1, a coefficient that's greater than 1. Okay, so we're going to proceed exactly the same way that we were doing these before. So we're going to make our chart by taking A times C. So my A value, my C value, that's going to be 15. I'm going to think of all the factors that I can of 15. I have 15 and 1. I have 3 and 5. Those are the only integers that I can multiply to get 15. It's not divisible by 2. It's not divisible by 4. None of those other numbers. Okay, so if I add 15 and 1, I get 16. And if I subtract 15 and 1, I get 14. If I add 3 and 5, I get 8. If I subtract 3 and 5, I get 2. So what was the number that I was looking for? It's the B value. I'm looking for the B value in my chart. And I see that 3 and 5 give me 2 if I subtract. Now, I see that I have a -2 that I'm really trying to get. So how does that happen? Do I get a -2 from 3 minus 5 or from 5 minus 3? It's 3 minus 5 that gives me -2. So when I expand this middle term, I know that I need a +3 and a -5 instead of a +5 and a -3 because I need a -2. So I need to take away the bigger number from the smaller number. So I'm going to expand my trinomial here and give it 4 terms. So I have positive 3x minus 5x minus 5. Okay, so the reason why I need to do this is because I'm going to group. You can't make groups out of 3 terms, but you can make groups out of 4 terms. Come on, pink. Oh, that didn't work. Let's do green. Bright green. All right, so in my blue set of parentheses, I have 3x squared plus 3x. So I'm looking for the greatest common factor. So let's start with our coefficients. What's the biggest number that divides evenly into 3 and 3? That would be 3. I have 2 x's here, 1 x here, so the maximum that I can take out is just 1 x. And now I'm dividing. 3 divided by 3 is 1. X squared divided by x is just x. So think of this as multiplication. 3x times 1x is 3x squared. What about 3x divided by 3x? That's 1. If I divide out the 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1. X divided by x is also 1. If I take that x away that was there, I don't have any x's left. So remember, when I'm grouping, I'm trying to get the same thing in the second set of parentheses. So I notice that both of these terms are negative and they both have a 5. So I'm going to factor out a -5. And if I factor out a -5, -5 divided by -5 is 1 again. I can't take an x out because this last term does not have an x. So I have an x left, and then again, -5 divided by -5 is 1. So to write my final answer, I take the 2 factors that I factored out, the 2 terms that I factored out, and then I have that repeated factor. And there's my answer. Okay, number 2. 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. Again, we have A, B, and C. A times C is 10. Factors of 10. 10 and 1, 2 and 5. That's it. Add them, subtract them, add them, subtract them. I was looking for the B value, which is 11. I found 11. It's under the plus column. That doesn't mean that the 10 and the 1 are both positive. That means that the 10 and the 1 are both the same sign. And in this case, they will be positive because my 11 is positive. So it's not negative 10 and negative 1 that add together to get 11. It's just positive 10 and positive 1 that add together to get 11. So I have 2x squared plus 10x plus 1x plus 5. So again, I'm taking a trinomial, 3 terms, and creating 4 terms. I'm splitting the middle term. 11 becomes 10 plus 1. So I can have 4 terms so I can group. Okay, in my first set of parentheses, the blue set of parentheses, I have 2 and 10. The GCF of 2 and 10 is 2, biggest number that divides evenly into both. They both have an x. I have an x left over, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. In the second set of parentheses, my red set of parentheses, they're both positive, so I don't need to factor out a negative like in the last example. But technically, my coefficient here is a 1, so the GCF of 1 and 5 is just 1. And see, again, I'm left with that x plus 5. So my final answer is 2x plus 1 coming from these two right here. And then I have my repeated parenthesis of x plus 5. Okay. I have A, I have B, I have C, and A times C is 16. I'm going to add, I'm going to subtract. So we have 16 and 1, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Add, subtract, add, subtract, add, subtract. Okay, I'm looking for my B value again, which is 17. I see it's under the plus column. Again, we didn't say that that plus column meant that they're both positive. We said that that plus column means they're the same sign. So how am I going to get 17 from 16 and 1? Well, I need to get negative 17. So I need negative 16 and negative 1 to give me negative 17. So I have 4x squared minus 16x minus 1x plus 4. Okay, making my 2 groups. I'm going to have my orange set of parentheses, and I'm going to have my purple set of parentheses. And in my orange, the biggest number that divides evenly into 4 and 16 is 4. I have 2 x's here, 1 x here. 4 divided by 4 is 1. I had 2 x's. I took 1 out. I'm left with 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. We took that x away. Now notice what I have here. In the purple, I have negative x plus 4. And right here, what I need to match is positive x minus 4. It's the exact opposite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out, a negative 1, and it's going to change my signs from being negative x plus 4 to positive x minus 4. So my final answer is 4x minus 1 times x minus 4. And if I wanted to check this, do you remember what we need to do? I hope you said it. We need to multiply. We need to do our box method. So I'm going to do that on this example just to show you, if you were kind of confused about that negative 1, a way that you can check. So we have 4x minus 1 and x minus 4, and we're going to multiply. 4x times x is 4x squared. Negative 1 times x is negative x. 4x times negative 4 is negative 16x, and negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. If I look at combining my like terms, negative 16x minus x is negative 17x. And that's exactly what I started with. Okay, last one here. I have A, I have B, I have C. A times C is 4. We only have two options here. We have 4 times 1 and 2 times 2. Add, subtract, add, subtract. I'm looking for B. It's right here, 4 and 1. Everything's positive in this problem, so everything's going to just stay positive. So I have 2x squared plus 4x plus 1x plus 2. The order that you do this doesn't matter, the 4x and the x. I could have done it the opposite way, and, just for funsies, let's switch them up, just to show you. Oopsies, no, I did it the same way. Okay, so looking at this first set, and then we have our second set. Okay, in the lime green, the GCF between 2x squared and x is just going to be x. I'm left with 2x plus 1. So think about reverse distributive property. Or think about distributive property. That can check your answer. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times 1 is x. Okay, the GCF in the blue set of parentheses, 4x, oh, this is a plus sign, right? Yeah. 4x plus 2. What number divides evenly into both 4 and 2? A 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. We did not take out an x. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So my final answer is x plus 2 times 2x plus 1. All right. If the area of a rectangle is represented by that expression and the length is represented by that expression, what could represent the width? So basically we're saying, what do you multiply x plus 2 by to get 2x squared plus 9x plus 10? Or factor this thing, and what's the other one? So if we factor, that's ABC, 2 times 10 is 20. 20 times 1, 10 times 2, 4 times 5, found it. So 4 and 5 are going to give me 9. 2x squared plus 4x plus 5x plus 10. GCF of the first set of parentheses, 2x squared plus 4x, 2x, and we'd be left with x plus 2. Ah, there it is. And then 5x plus 10, the GCF is 5, and again, we're left with x plus 2. So what's the other factor? It's right here, 2x plus 5. Okay, the challenge problem. So if you're not interested in this, then you can tune out of this video. All right, so challenge problems. We have A, we have B, we have C. A times C is 20. Okay, 20 times 1, 10 times 2, 5 times 4. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, 21, 19, 8. Oh, jeez Louise. It's challenge and then I get all nervous. Okay, 12 and 8 and then 9 and 1. What do you guys think? Where is it? Is it there? I don't see 5. I'm going to call this one prime. Not there. And I've exhausted all the options. Because 20 is not divisible by 3. We got 4. We got 5. 20 is not divisible by 6. It's not divisible by 7. It's not divisible by 8. It's not divisible by 9. I got 10. That's it. Okay, this one looks like a beast. But what I see is that all my coefficients here are divisible by 3. So I'm going to factor out a 3 first. So that would leave me with 3x squared plus, what, 22x plus 7. Okay, that makes it a lot easier. Now I see that my a and my c value multiplies to 21. And we have 21 and 1, and that's where I'm going to get my 22. So I have this 3 hanging out all day.